Welcome to a new video in my home automation series, and today is going to be a new Sonoff review. And I have to tell you, I have a mountain of new Sonoff products already around me. So I received these, I think, like 2 weeks ago, so I'm a little bit late with that, so this is already released. I have another product there, there is a product there are like 3 more products still in boxes. So I said, I think November, December, that there is like a big push to get some new products out. Well, it wasn't really November and December because it seems to be continuing in the second half of this year as well. But let's talk about this Zigbee smart water valve for the start. And if you think you have seen this before, you are actually correct, because I have reviewed a Sonoff smart water valve, and that was also Zigbee before, but now it is a new and revised product. It has new features. Probably the most notably, if you unpack it, is this brass screw on inlet, which was previously plastic. Otherwise, the body, I think it's pretty much the same, or almost exactly the same as the previous model. But then there has been also other improvements. So there is more enhanced watering schedules. There is a lot of smart features that you can put into the watering schedule, like seasonality, looking at rain prediction from weather forecast, or even the humidity level. And that can all influence how much the device is going to water your plants. Also, besides the Zigbee control, this has a dual Zigbee and Bluetooth control. So if you happen to use it in a part of the garden which doesn't have Zigbee coverage, then you can just install it as it is. And then when you are around this unit, then you can just use the eWeLink application and Bluetooth control and control this device using Bluetooth as well. So you have that option as well. And besides all the extra schedules, there are more features added for frost protection and low battery alerts, and also child lock. But I'm going to go through all these features in the rest of the video. But before we do that, let me just change the view, because I want to show you the current lineup. So the product that I'm reviewing now is this one. So there, you can see the old product. You can see that the body is exactly the same. You see it had a plastic knob on the top, which has been, sorry, not knob, but that's the inlet valve, or the inlet interface, and that has been replaced with a brass one. And then from the new version, which is now called the Hydro series, there are actually 2 different versions. So there is a cheaper version which doesn't contain a consumption measurement. So if you just want to irrigate, you don't really care about how many liters or gallons you have used for the irrigation, you can go for a cheaper model. And then for the more expensive model, which I have here, it actually also measures how much water is going through when you open the valve. So that's the main difference. And actually there is like a Hydro 2 as well, which I don't have a sample version. So, but most probably the functionality is going to be very similar. So let me move the box aside, and then we can look at the unit. And yeah, so as I said, I could not find my old water valve, but the case looks very similar, and I would probably say that it's probably the exact same case as the previous one. So it is a black case. You see this printing on one side, and you have, well, I'm not going to remove it, but you press this and then you can remove this whole container, which holds the 4 AA batteries this unit runs on. You have a button here to operate it manually, and this is the inlet side. So this is, I think, 3/4 inch hose connection, so just regular hose connection, and this is the outlet side. And I'm going to have some videos here how I installed in my faucet. I just needed to use some adapters because I think my faucet had 1/2 inch outlet, but I could easily put like these quick connect nipple on the outlet side, and I can connect a hose, and it is very easy to install. And since it has this brass inlet, I think it is much better to hold on to this using a like these vice grips to tighten the connection, make sure that it's watertight. And I'm definitely less concerned about breaking this part than if it was would be in plastic, just like in the old model. I'm guessing maybe there was a lot of complaint that this part should be made from a more durable material, because after all, this is a fairly expensive piece for a single part to be broken, and then basically that renders the unit useless because I don't think this water valve is serviceable. So that's all about the outside of the unit. Maybe we can see some specs here. Not a lot, but yeah, you can see it runs on 4 AA batteries. And as I said, it uses Zigbee. So I have this guy connected to my NS panel, which is there. And this is how the main card for this looks like in the app. And of course, you pair it with the Zigbee hub, just like any other Zigbee device. So if I go onto the main screen, you see it's SWV-ZFE. And I have a button here that I can operate the valve. And then it turns on. I think you can hear the click. And I can turn it off as well, and then it works. And then whenever you turn the unit on and off, after you turn this off, this central screen updates and it shows what was the latest irrigation, and then how many liters you have irrigated. And I'm going to have some sample footage where I'm going to show you how this updates. And the only thing I noticed that it shows that from 206 to 206, but actually it is 307. So I think this clock is 1 hour off, or maybe it doesn't take into account the summertime, something like that. And on the main screen, you have an option for manual irrigation. So if you use this, you can turn it on, and then you can use this to stop the valve or turn it off. You also have schedules, where it is very similar to the schedules for various switches, but it has all the additional irrigation functionality that we are going to go through. And you also have charts where you can use the consumption. And then probably I can go back to, I don't know how many days I made some of the videos that you're going to see a little bit later on. But yeah, so you can see that this is where I was doing the various irrigation tests that I have a video on. So you have 2 different views. You can look at how many liters you have used, or if you change the units, then it's going to be gallons, or how many minutes you have done the irrigation. And you can switch to a monthly view and then a half-yearly view. So it stores the data for 6 months, and you can also download it. So before I continue with the app, let me show you 2 videos. In the first video, I was just using a hose and the irrigation just to irrigate a part of my garden. And all I have done is I started it from the phone. I used the manual irrigation option, and I just started watering. And yeah, I'm just going to speed up the video. And then I stopped it from the app. And then you can see that the screen got updated, and it was saying, if I remember correctly, I was using like 63 liters of water to irrigate that garden. And I also wanted to see how good this measurement is. So I have this big tank which has some markings on the side. So I thought I'm just going to manually start it and stop it, and then see how much the gauge shows on the side of the tank versus how much shows in the app. And then you're going to see when I finished that, it was actually bang on. Oh. Okay, so it says 22 liters. Let me bring you closer. Look. Bang on a 22 liters. Okay, I spilled some, but okay, so the consumption measurement is definitely working. Okay, so that was the sort of like demonstration and testing side of this. So what I'm going to show you is the rest of the options. Let me actually go to the options, and then we can go into the schedules, because I think it's going to make a little bit more sense that way. So if in the options we have the usual location sharing and create grouping, and you also have some defaults. So whenever you're using the manual irrigation, you can have a default that it automatically shuts off after 10 minutes or after a certain amount of liters capacity. But of course you can shut off manually anytime. And then you have the location, which is going to be useful because then there are going to be weather specific settings in the irrigation schedules, and that weather specific information comes from online weather services. So the device has to know your location. You have options to change the temperature units, the capacity units as well. and you can get push notifications on these type of issues, so low voltage alert, leakage alert, or freeze alert. And you also have the child lock, so the kids would not be able to open it using the button. So if you only want app control, and that's it. So now we are going back to the most important part of this, which is the schedules. So within the schedules, you can add plans. It says you can add up to 6 plans. I think the reason this is limited, because if, let's say, you are using the Bluetooth option, then you are directly transferring all these settings to the device. So even if it doesn't have access to the internet, it should be able to control. I would assume that then some of the weather forecast related features will just not work. But if I create a new plan, you can give it a name, like that's going to be my test irrigation, or I don't know, weekly, or vegetable garden, or whatever. So there is a date where this is going to start. And then you can set up the repeat. So whether you want this every day, even odd days, even days, or you want intervals every second day, third day, or custom, let's say a certain number of the days. So again, there is a lot of different options here. And then what is going to be the start time for the irrigation. And then you can specify whether you want this irrigation to be based on duration or based on capacity. So in the duration, let's say I want this to run for 10 minutes, or I can also do a cycle. So let's say I have 3-minute cycles, and each of the cycles there's going to be 2-minute irrigation, so then 1 minute of break. So you can use this as well. So within that 10 minutes, the valve is just going to close and open using this cycle. Or you can do the whole thing with capacity. So let's say I want to irrigate 30 liters of water, and also there is a fail-safe if for some reason it takes more than 10 minutes, then it's just going to shut off. So these are the two options that you can do. So let me do 10 minutes. Oh, actually, let me, I just want to change it till later so it doesn't start immediately when I make the video. Okay. So, and now you can also see in the diagram how it looks like. So you can create up to 6 of these. And then we can go into the adjustment. So you have a couple of different adjustments. So first of all, you have the irrigation schedule. So you can have seasonality adjustments. I don't think that this is something that I would personally be able to use, because the weather in my area is so irregular and is so erratic that you can't really, guess how much water you need to use based on just a month, because sometimes the same month tends to be very wet, sometimes it's very dry. But let's say you live in a part of the world where the seasonality is much more predictable, then you can just have these schedules. So let's say that whatever I set here is like my base irrigation schedule, which is, let's say it's okay for January and February and March, but let's say in May I want to up everything by 1.3. So the duration or the liters is going to be multiplied by 1.3. And let's say in June it needs to be 1.9. So that's how you can control seasonality with these settings. And again, that would assume that your schedules is something that the device is going to run with 365 days of the year, and the seasonality is going to adjust either the durations or the capacity. So that's one of the options. And the other option is the weather-based adjustment. And again, that's something that the device takes from the Internet Weather Service. So you can assign a rain delay. So if there is a more than 70% chance of rain for that particular day, then for that day, all the schedules are going to be turned off. And also you can do it for humidity. So if there is a very high humidity for the day, then the schedules are going to be suspended. You can see for 24 hours. Or you can also have this freeze delay as well. So there is a lot of different customizing options here. I think probably the rain delay is the most important one. I guess for some regions the humidity delay could be very interesting as well. You just have to really see, because I don't, from the app I can't really tell what type of weather service Sonoff uses. Sometimes even the weather service that I use in my area says that there is going to be rain, and I can see the clouds passing the other side of the city and they get like big rains there, and it is completely dry in my area. So I tend to take these weather services, and especially the precipitation prediction, with a pinch of salt. But again, that may vary between, you know, your location and whatever weather service they are using. Definitely give it a try and see how it works. So these are the adjustments. And if you click on the icon on the top right, you can also see these weather services. So you can see that you have an outlook for the next 7 days, and then those are the predictions that the weather service that Sonoff uses is going to give for the certain days. I mean, it just gives an icon. It's not going to tell you whether there is a likely rain delay on that particular day, but you have this information. And besides all these automatic adjustment, you also have this manual option for the rain delay. So let's say you don't configure this rain delay based on the internet weather service, but you know that, it just started raining. You come to the app, you come to the schedules, and then you turn on the rain delay, and then you can say, oh, there was like a huge rain. I don't need to irrigate for the next 3 days. And then it will automatically create a delay until, well, it even shows the time. I think probably if I go into the settings, I thought it's going to move the white dots, but it doesn't. But you can see that it will just push out all the various schedules by the day that you set manually. So that's also a nice one. You don't really need to rely on the weather service. You can just use this one and do everything manually. And I think that pretty much concludes my review of this Sonoff or Hydro ONE Zigbee smart water valve. I think the brass part here is definitely a nice addition compared to the previous one. It's probably going to enhance the longevity of this device. Definitely you're not going to crack this one when you are trying to tighten, especially if you have some leaks around the faucet. So that's definitely a nice touch. And I do like the additional features in the schedules, how you can set up the schedules, how you can control seasonality, and also you have the option to rely on a weather service to give you flexibility in the watering schedule, but you also have the option to do everything manually if you wish to do so. If you are interested in this device, there is going to be affiliated links down in the video description below. But I think that's all for today. Thanks for watching, and hopefully see you next one.